Hey, hi there. Welcome to the fourth day of February 2026. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life Meditation, a live video broadcast exercise that I do every morning at 5:30 a.m. from my home here in Shizuoka, Japan. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use this time to think about yesterday and how I did with the challenges, the noteworthy challenges and opportunities that I met. I go over the objectives of my creed and one of the principles, and I prepare for the coming day. But first, a hearty welcome to new subscribers to the channel. There sure are a lot of you. I'm Kurt. I'm a almost 62-year-old American, retired and living here in the Satoyama countryside of Japan. I spend my days mostly gardening. Have a little part-time job I do downtown on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just enjoying the season of life with my wife. However, in addition to all of that, I also work hard to try to live well. And what living well means to me is living a virtuous life, where virtue is simply defined as passing my days, leaving in my trail a wake of worthwhile ends, of worthwhile activities and decisions that help to improve the well being of others around me, including my family and myself. Trying to be a positive um, piece of the puzzle rather than distracting or making noise or worse yet, doing bad things. Bad things where bad things would be causing suffering and pain, undue suffering and pain. So that's how I spend my life mostly. I started doing this exercise a long time ago after I finished. Ooh, my candle just went out. After I finished writing my book, Going Alone, and I needed a way to remember and enforce my values upon my life. So I started doing this back in December 2020, 2018, the same month that the book was published. I On this YouTube channel, there's a lot of videos, and I have a lot of past identities and projects that you can find in the various playlists. My current projects are, of course, this, which I do every day, which I do really mostly for myself because this is my self-tuning endeavor, which I do publicly, and you're welcome to watch. But keeping in mind that this is a journal, so I can talk about anything that I want for as long or as little as I want. It's not a performance, and it's not being done for necessarily for the benefit of anybody else. This is my own. This is like stretching in the morning, right? I'm bending where the stiffness is, right? Trying to limber up and prepare for the day. But I'm doing that with my mind and my perspective and my philosophy and my epistemology. I also have activities currently where I spend a lot of time in the garden. You can see how excited I am. It's a garden day today. It's Wednesday, and I'm already dressed in my garden gear. Got my hat on, and it's not even sunrise yet. And so I do long gardening videos, multiple hour videos. Do that several times a week. I also do a series called At Home in Japan, which is the chronicle of my days when I'm more active and out and about. I also do shorts and a few other things, and I write books, so lots of books. Okay, well, with that, that's in my introduction. I do need to say that I will talk about sensitive subjects, namely my own expectations for my own death. So if that's a sensitive subject for you, you have been forewarned that that is coming. And finally, a huge, gigantic thank you and nod of appreciation to the viewers on YouTube, and especially my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters. It is by virtue of your support that I'm able to have Going Alone on a website, goingalone.org, where anyone can read about the values that are outlined in this book for free. Let's get started. I am going to go over the last 24 hours. The two notes that I have was that it was a good news tax day yesterday. That was the first note. And the second one was I have an electrical issue. Dang it. Let's deal with these in reverse order. So the electrical issue was that yesterday I was doing taxes. Well, maybe I should talk about the taxes first because it leads into it. So the big complicated. Oh, I'm retired. I think I said that right. So as such, I'm dealing with retired things that I never dealt with before in my work life paradigm. So now my retired paradigm, I'm finding things that are challenging. Like, for example, I live in Japan. I've just completed my first full year of retired life in Japan. I think I'm a tax resident, quotation marks, in Japan, although definitions seem to vary. Some say it takes 5 years, some say it's right away. I don't know. So I'm trying to find my way through all of that here in tax season. Next month, March, is when I need to file my Japanese taxes. And the month after that, April, is when we file taxes in America. But being an expat, I get until June. So I get an extra 2 months on top of that. So that's good. So I'm working hard at all of that because I want to make sure I do it right. I don't want to either leave money on the table, or worse yet, not pay where I owe money, right? Either one in Japan or America. It's complicated. My vehicles of income in 2025 were my pension, and my government pension, and my 401k, and my IRA. Both I have both a Roth and a standard IRA, and I did distributions from all three of those, and then of course received my pension. So it's a little bit complicated. Oh, and I sell books. So I made money selling books, and so I have a 1099 for that, and then I also make money on YouTube as a channel. Um, so I have and eBay. So I have all these various sources of income, and I don't know how Japan treats all that stuff, right? So the way I'm handling this is I'm taking care of the America. So the first thing I did was I did my own damn taxes myself in the United States. I did a terrible job, and I came out looking like I was going to owe the government a lot of money. And then so I hired an accountant to do the job for me in America. And they say, wait, well, no, you're not going to owe money. You're going to get a refund. Hallelujah. So now I'm working on the Japan side. So they're finishing up in America. I should have that information done. Now I'm working on the Japan side, and I might be getting some professional help on this side to make sure I do it right. Anyway, that was all big. That was the big news. That was the first bullet I added yesterday. Now, this is not me just telling story time about how things are going. I want to talk about how I'm doing things relative to my values. And my values in this case are you trying to leverage the values to keep a steady mind, to not fall prey to hyperbole, to not get unduly upset. For example, when I did the taxes and found out and revealed that I owed a lot of money, don't get upset at that. Instead, think of my way through it. Decide to go for an accountant in the States to figure it out for me, to get their perspective. All this kind of stuff. And I must say, the tools, the values in here, namely hashtag temperance. Whenever I say hashtag in a word, I'm referring to a principle or objective. As always, hashtag temperance to control my emotions, hashtag reason to find my way through, hashtag social to seek after professional expertise, hashtag family to discuss things with my wife, hashtag time, the good use of time, spending time well in advance of my tax due date to make sure I'm getting this stuff right. Hashtag the application of my values. That would be good. Hashtag the objective number 5, which I'll enumerate in just a second, and then always leading towards, not as an aim, but just as a consequence. Hashtag balance, the sense of balance that I gain in my days as a result of all of that. So it's working well. It's going well. So I have today I'm going to be I think I saw a note already from my accountant in the United States, so I'll check that, and then after that I'll take their next step, see what the accountant says, and then follow through on whatever they're telling me to do, and then continue my efforts on the Japan side. Leads me into bullet point number 2, electrical issue. Gosh darn it. I have my wife's computer. I don't own a computer. I have my wife's computer here, which I borrowed to do the tax stuff, and it's sitting on my little desk here. And we all, since it's her computer, we at dinner time last night, I wanted to go take the computer downstairs so that we could watch our Netflix. We're watching Queer Eye. We were for the final season, and so we were watching an episode. So I unplugged the computer, and it plugs in over here on the side, and I threw the cord out the other side carelessly because I was eager to go downstairs to dinner. And this pluggy part, the DC part, dropped into the dog's water bowl. Well, this part was plugged into the wall. Now, I had Rudy with me. There was no chance he was going to drink water because I picked him up and took him downstairs with me. And then we went down and had dinner, and then we came upstairs, and I was going out to take the dogs for a walk, and I brought the computer up and went to plug it in. I saw the plug in the dog's bowl, electrocuting the dog's water. Now, I don't think it's going to be too dangerous because it's gone through, the electricity has gone through this. I got to remember this. What is it? A converter of some sort that converts it from high voltage AC to low voltage DC. So it's a DC charge that was going into the dog's bowl. So, but very scary. It was like that for at least half an hour while we were downstairs. It's really scared me. I had to use Temperance to control my sense of terror. That I had left a charged item in water in a metal water bowl uh, upstairs while I was downstairs. It scared me, and I had to control my emotions and then think my way through, and then I used hashtag reason to say, well, don't plug it in, and then I looked into it, did a little research to see about it, and I decided after last night that I'm simply not going to. I'm not going to use this again. I'm going to call it dead. I just because this would stay plugged in all the time, right? I mean, I don't want there to be any chance that a week or a month from now, if I let it dry. So let's say I let it dry for 24, 48 hours, and then use it. I don't want there to be a chance that eventually I cause some damage, some corrosion or something like that that will cause it to short out and burn the whole damn house down. So I'm not going to use this. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it or dispose of it. I'll cut the cords and dispose of it in the proper way you dispose of electrical things here in Japan. I'll have to figure that out, and then I will go to the electronics store. But before I do that, I'll go to the electronics store and get a replacement because I'll take it in with me and I'll say another one of these, please. Just get a new one, and I'll have to apologize to my wife, and she's going to be like, "What did you do? Why weren't you more careful?" So that was another case of ambushed. Hashtag life will not go well, a moment of life not going well, and but I think I handled it well. So kudos to me. Now it's okay. This is a journal, right? I can write in my journal, dear diary. Yesterday, I had some challenges, and I did well through them. Right? It's just as often I am likely to point out that I didn't do well because I want to know where I do well and I want to know where I do poorly. Those are the extremities where I can learn and improve. Is that it for yesterday? I think so. My creed consists of 8 objectives and 35 principles. The objectives are, first of all and foremost, to be at all times ready for death with my affairs, relationships, and life's work in good, tidy order, and they are. My second objective is to make good and effective use of my time so that I don't let my days slip through my fingers. My third objective is to develop and maintain. Let me linger a little bit on that second objective. It's not just that the days don't slip through my fingers. It's I want to make good use of my time so that I'm putting my life to good ends. That I'm making good utility of my days and my life and my training and my opportunity to engage and be a positive part of the life in the world. That's very important to me. My third objective is to develop and maintain good and sound, meaning that they can suffer the inquiry of reason, life objectives and principles, exactly those which I've codified here. The fourth objective is to cultivate good emotional reactions, probably the most proactive and active, and simply the most important part of my day to day interface with the real world is to be able to control my emotions so that I respond well. I don't fly off the handle. Don't lose control. Don't let my reason be guided by my emotions in an undue and unfair and what would be the right word? Unjudicious way. Judicious meaning that I'm balancing my decisions and actions against the values that I purport to hold, which I clearly do hold if I am judicious. My fifth objective is to um, apply my values to, which is the thing I just said, to judiciously apply my values to the world. Sixth objective is to develop, recognize my true limits and my true opportunities, so that I know how far my capacity and capabilities reach, so that I'm not asking myself more of what I to do more. So I'm not asking myself to do things that are beyond me, or not reasonably beyond me, or that I can't attain by way of uh, efforts for self improvement. My seventh objective is to do just one thing at a time and do it slowly and deliberately and carefully, that boy, that becomes easier and easier as time goes by. Multitasking is, especially now that I'm retired, right? I don't really, I'm not challenged to multitask much in the garden. It's not like I need to weed in one part of the garden and dig a trench in the other. I can't do those at the same time. Now, the eighth objective is to gain and maintain a sense of balance, or an actual balance, not in just my body, but in my mind. Two chimes at, heaven knows what time it is. It's probably around 6 o'clock, more like 5:45 a.m. Clock's never right. My retired guy clock. Okay, those are my 8 objectives. Now I'm going to read one of the principles now. Today I'm going to read principle titled, a strange title, The Feast of Offal. The Feast of Offal. Well, we know what a feast is. Offal, of course, is the stuff that's the consequence of the butcher's art, right? The waste, so-called waste and byproduct of butchering an animal into meat. And when you say it that way, vegetarianism sounds pretty good. Anyway, when I say it that way, the butcher then takes the bits and pieces that they couldn't sell outright and grinds them into sausage. That stuff, or discards of them, and that stuff is called offal.